All right, let me just say this. Let's shift gears. I am not a conspiracy theorist. When I used to do just a radio show, by the way, if you didn't hear it, it was spectacular. Anyway, I took a bunch of phone calls, and the only thing I would not allow, Goulet as my witness, is no conspiracy theory guy. I'm not interested in your crazy town nonsense. I'm not into, every sports fan's got conspiracy theories, and they're all nonsense. But since it's my show, I can occasionally throw one out. So there's a story that came out. It kind of reveals Bill Belichick, smartest, best football coach ever. He knows the cap, he knows personnel, he knows coaching, he knows game preparing. Basically gave the 49ers, gave them a star quarterback for a second-round pick. Now, I've always had this theory that smart guys don't get dumb. Like when a smart guy like Phil Jackson's a brilliant coach, and if he played dumb, I wasn't criticizing the refs and manipulating the officials. Phil Jackson used to manipulate the refs like nobody's business. He would rip them after a game and just to manipulate them for the next game. And it's like he would play dumb, and I'm like, Phil, you're too smart to play dumb. So Belichick's a brilliant guy. Why would he give a quarterback that he knew was going to be great away for a second-round pick? Jimmy Garoppolo's in the Super Bowl. Here's always been my theory. Belichick now, it's all about legacy. He's got his millions. He's got his trophies. He's the best football coach ever. That doesn't mean he doesn't want to polish up his legacy. When he's gone, there's always been this, Brady led the dynasty. No, it's Belichick. You can't win without Brady. Can't win without Belichick. Hey, Belichick got fired without Brady. Well, Belichick did win 11 games the year Brady got hurt, so it's not defined yet. Why would he give Garoppolo away? All right, John, crazy conspiracy theory music. The reason he gave him away is he gave him to the best young football coach in America, Kyle Shanahan, knowing, remember, Bill always had control of the Patriots. He knew, I'm not going to give him to some hack. I want to prove my point here. So he gives him away to Kyle Shanahan knowing nobody will get more out of Garoppolo than Kyle Shanahan. And then he didn't demand more picks because why would he? I'm not going to take away the potential to get a Nick Bosa, McGlinchey, the right tackle. I'm not going to deplete the Niners roster. I'm going to give him Garoppolo for one pick. They don't have to give up multiple picks to me. They don't have to give up multiple players. I'm going to ensure Garoppolo is successful and send him to the other conference. If I have to face him, it's at least in the Super Bowl. Will I trust me over any young coach? What does this do? 20 years from now, people can say, Belichick wanted Garoppolo. By the way, why did the story ever leak? You know Brady's side didn't leak this. Brady didn't leak it. His side didn't leak it. His agent didn't leak it. Why did the story leak that Belichick wanted Garoppolo and was forced to trade him? That actually helps Belichick. It proves Belichick was ready to move on. And so 20 years from now, if Garoppolo's got 4 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowls, people will say they could have done that in New England, but Brady wanted him out. I really believe, and I'm not a conspiracy guy, but why would Belichick give the Niners a quarterback to the best offensive coach in football, the young guy, and not demand picks back? He wanted to ensure Garoppolo's excellence to prove a point. I wanted to move off. This was my guy, and he's going to ensure that he's great. Nobody is happier in the world that Garoppolo is in a Super Bowl than Bill Belichick. Bill would love to be facing him, but nobody is happier in the world, other than the Shanahan family, that Garoppolo's in than Belichick, because it proves Bill right. Bill had his guy. Bill wanted to go. Bill wasn't allowed to. Bill had to trade him, so he was going to guarantee Garoppolo worked. I'm trading you to the best young coach, and I'm not asking anything in return that will disrupt your potential dynasty. Is that crazy? Do you guys think I'm nuts on that? There's a lot of different ways to get into the Hall of Fame. I'll give you an example. In baseball, Craig Biggio makes it because he was a compiler. He often was not. Probably more years than not, Craig Biggio was not Craig was not the best. I watched him play minor league baseball, by the way, in Tucson, Arizona. He was a catcher/second baseman. He's a hell of a baseball player. But he was never the best baseball player on his own team for more than half his career. But he compiled a lot of stats, played for a long time, and he was a very, very good guy. He gets in. And then there's Sandy Koufax, who didn't compile anything. He had 5 great years, not even just a half a decade. And he gets in. And then you go to basketball. Casey Jones averaged 7 points a game, but he had 8 championships. He gets in. He's relevant. Charles Barkley doesn't have any championships, didn't have a lot of great playoff runs, but his personality, his style, his regular season points and flair, he gets in. There's a lot of different ways to get into Hall of Fames. Eli Manning, think about this way. Hall of Fames are about historical relevance. You cannot tell the story of the NFL without Eli, the greatest football family in America, the Manning family, without Eli. You can't tell the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady's story, without Eli. You can't tell the greatest dynasty in the NFL history, New England, without Eli. You can't tell Belichick's story without Eli. Eli is historically relevant. There's so many stories. You cannot tell the story of the Patriots, Brady, Belichick, Super Bowls. He has the craziest completion in Super Bowl history to David Tyree. And there's been some wacky ones. That's the craziest one, super glue to the helmet. There's like 9 stories in the NFL you can't tell without Eli Manning. There's a lot of good What about Jim Plunkett? Jim Plunkett, you can tell the story of the NFL without Jim. Jim is also not 7th all-time in touchdown passes and 7th all-time in yards thrown for. The longevity, and people say, well, the name helps him. New York helps him. Yes, playing in New York helped Derek Jeter. And being a Manning probably helped Eli. But beyond that, they both played in New York. They both won multiple titles. They were often the most valuable person in those championships in the most high-pressure, intense American sports city, New York City. I can't blame you. If your dad and mom had a little money and gave you $1 million when they passed away, but you go on to have a great life, I can't hold it against you. I would have loved to have had that. Now, if you end up being a meth addict, I can bang on you because you did have a start in life. But if you didn't have anything from your parents and were successful, and your buddy did have and was successful, I'm not going to ding him for it. Not everybody goes to the New York Yankees. But Jeter took advantage of being a New York Yankees. They've had a lot of average shortstops and a lot of average second basemen. And yes, it probably helps being Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning's brother. But guess what? He still beat Belichick, and he beat Brady, and he beat the greatest dynasty, and he had the craziest catch. And if you go back, I did last night, don't revisionist history. Don't look at Eli's last 4 years and judge him. You go back and watch Eli 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th year in the league. He had a better arm than Peyton. He was durable. He could take shots. He was a great road quarterback, unlike Aaron Rodgers. He had a great arm. He was great in the 2-minute drill. He was a great come-from-behind quarterback. He was a clutch quarterback. Again, there's a lot of ways to make Hall of Fame. Sandy Koufax, 5 great years. Craig Biggio compiles. Charles Barkley, personality. Karl Malone, stats, no titles. Casey Jones, 7 points a game. Draymond Green may get into the Basketball Hall of Fame. He's not very highly skilled, and he's very lucky to have played with the best backcourt ever, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry. There's not one entrance. There's a lot of side doors into Hall of Fames. Meadowlark Lemon is in the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame. There are officials in the Basketball Hall of Fame. There's a lot of doors to get in, and Eli's in for me. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.